expanding and growing spiritually and reaching for insights, there are parts of ourselves that we utilize. We have our guides and spirit helpers. We have our higher self. There's an awful lot of talk in spiritual circles about the higher self. What is the higher self? I've searched for this answer, and what I have at the moment is the higher self is the highest vibrational frequency part of ourselves. It is the part of ourselves that is closest in frequency to source. What does that mean? We are multi-dimensional beings. We have our physical body, which is the lowest vibration, and we have other subtle vibrations, other parts of ourselves, if you like, that are in different dimensions. And there are 12 dimensional planes. And as I see it, our higher self would be on the 12th dimensional plane. And when we work with our spiritual growth, what we are doing is we are finding ways to connect in with our higher self. I see it as a cord that moves through each of the dimensions, and we can access these dimensions by raising our frequency during meditation and spiritual work. You can imagine these layers of yourself maybe as an onion. And you can access these parts of yourself in two different ways, as I see it. There are, as I've seen it so far, I'm sure there are others. You can either rise upwards or you can go inwards. Our spark from the divine is within our heart, is within the small space of the heart. It's like a gateway, a wormhole to source. It links directly into our higher self and our origins. And I see these energies like a figure of eight, like a figure of eight is directly linked in energy to the Taurus. The Taurus is like a donut that goes out in energy and in energy and out, and it's constantly moving, constantly inverting and moving outwards, inverting and moving outwards. Without a visual, I don't really know how to describe that. And it's the same with the figure of eight. The energy can be moving into the center or outwards again, moving inwards or expanding outwards. And when we are looking at expanding up and out into the layers, we are expanding out to come in, And when we are going into ourselves to connect with that energy, we are coming in to expand out. Throughout our energy system, you have the figure of 8. And each one of our trillions and trillions of cells has its own energy field, has its own little torus of energy. We have our biofield. And within these fields, we are constantly either coming in or expanding out. And with that, we also mimic the universe. I think it was Gandhi that said that a human is a microcosm of the macrocosm. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That's how I understand it. That's how I understand it. When we connect in with the higher self is us. We are the higher self, but it is a aspect of ourselves that exists on a higher plane. As galactic history talks about, or people that talk about galactic history talk about, is we started on the higher planes and there was a descent into physicality, and that is where our higher self is. And as we move up in frequency, we are able to bring more of our higher self into our everyday consciousness. And eventually we will merge and become one with the higher aspects of ourselves. Thank you for listening.